The truth is, by the time you leave school, you're going to be thrown into a pool of thousands of other young people, some who are even smarter or more qualified than you are, and you're all going to be struggling for the exact same position. How do you ensure that you come out on top? How do you ensure that you are set apart right from the start? This is something I hacked as a student. For those who don't know, I only graduated last year in 2024, and a lot of people did not know. A lot of people didn't even know that I was a student while I was a student. It came as a shock every time I had to say it, because as a student, I was already leading an organization of my own. As a student, I was already working. I was already a working class lady. As a student, I was already traveling, speaking, and doing all of those things. So it's a part of my life that I kept very quiet. I kept very private, not secret, while I did other things that could actually build my life in the real world. So if you're a student, you are still in luck. Please share this with a student that you know. They need to watch this video. This is how you beat the years of experience struggle before you even graduate, because it's not when you graduate you start planning your future and your life and your career. It's before you even graduate, and I want to share with you some strategies to do that. Are you ready? Let's go. But before we go, please subscribe, okay? First, and what I think is the most important point, is to join international organizations. I emphasize this in my book Schooled. I emphasize this in my book Apply and Win. I am emphasizing it in this video, and I will continue to emphasize it. If you're still a student and you have not joined an international organization, pause this video, go to your school group chat, and figure out what international organization exists in your school. This is so important because it sets you apart by miles from other schoolmates. Why? It shows that you have gone the extra mile. It even helps more if you're able to take up a leadership position. For example, I was president or team lead of enactus in my school, and I cannot begin to tell you, apart from the personal growth that I got and the career growth that I got as well from that experience, I cannot begin to tell you the opportunities that just having that on my CV has done for me. Guys, it is so important. I know you see these people. There are schools, even in my school, there are people who see, students who are part of organizations like enactus, for example, and say, oh, it's too stressful, these people are wasting their time. I'm like, you don't know what's going on. By the time you graduate, these students who had put in the extra time, right, who had taken on the extra stress to become an enactus student. I'm mentioning enactus a lot because I have a bias for enactus, but there are other ones. To become an enactus student will have an edge over you. You think school is all about academics? You are wrong. You are very wrong. In the real world, academics and grades alone is not all that matters. Okay? So join international organizations. And when I say international organizations, I'm not talking about your SUG. It is not enough. I'm not talking about your religious bodies, like, what do they even call them these days? The Muslim society or the Christian societies that you have in school. Those are not enough. You can do those ones for your personal growth, right? You can take up leadership position as an ESCO or the president of a religious fellowship for your personal and spiritual growth. You can get involved in student politics with the SUG or whatever it's called in your school for your personal growth. But if you're thinking career beyond just school, then you have to seek out international organizations. Some examples are enactus, like I've mentioned. I know there is also ISEC, and I know there is also JPI. You want to find out if your school has any of these and join. I know there's also Hot Prize as well. You want to be involved in that way. If your school does not have any, then you have a fantastic opportunity to start a chapter in your school. Do it. If it's enactus, write to the country office and do it. It will be stressful. It will take a lot from you. It will demand a lot from you. But in the end, once you leave school, you will be so glad that you did. For your information, in the school where I recently graduated from, I started the enactus. There was no enactus team, and I decided to start it. And we did wonderful projects, and those projects have opened doors for me. So, students watching this, please, international organizations, very important, okay? Number 2 is internships. The extra time that you have Rather than spending it gisting with your hostel buddies or watching movies, this is the time that you have to build. So that by the time you graduate, like I keep saying, it's not after you graduate, you start thinking of how to build your life. You start asking after school, what next? After NYC, what next? Those are silly questions. Start asking those questions now while you're still in the system, so that you take steps that will make you stand out once you leave the system. The next thing is internship. You want to find out organizations around you, maybe close to your school, or organizations in the field that you want to pursue long term, and find out if they have internship positions. Some of them would open internship positions for third or fourth year students. You want to reach out to them too. It's also not everything you wait to be announced. Sometimes you do the reaching out. Sometimes you send the cold emails. It shows initiative, right? Reach out to them and ask if you could intern, even if it's 3 months, even if it's 6 months, even if it's 1 year. You can dedicate some time. You can even negotiate. Oh my God. You can even negotiate with these people to make it remote because you're a student. Most of these organizations do not even have people reaching out to them. So they'll be impressed that, oh, this person is a student but wants to learn, still wants to dedicate their time to gaining experience. Let's give them a chance. But are you even taking those opportunities? Are you even shooting those shots? Are you even taking those chances in the first place? Then you come out of school and you say, oh, there are no jobs, there are no opportunities. But you had the chance to change the course of your life. You just didn't know how. I'm teaching you how now. Okay, internships are a great way to do it. So if you're in your third or fourth year, you want to start reaching out to organizations and ask if you could intern. And you also want to ask if it could be done remotely. That way you're already building work experience. Because by the time you leave school and they're asking for 1 or 2 years experience, you think it's everybody that'll be saying, but I just left school. There are people who already have that. I had it by the time I graduated. I already have years of experience by the time that I graduated. So you can start building yours now. Number 3, you want to volunteer. This may be less intensive than an internship, but it also counts on your CV. When people are looking at your CV, they want to see, what did this person contribute to beyond just school, beyond just academics? I will keep repeating, if you don't know, academics and grades are not the only things that are checked when people are considering opportunities, because there could be 1,000 people with the exact same grade, whether it's a first class or a second class upper or a second class lower or a third class. There could be 1,000 people with the exact same grade. What will stand you out? What will set you apart are the extra things, little boxes that you are not thinking about right now, right? So you want to volunteer as well. You can volunteer even if it's an orphanage beside your school or beside your house. Volunteer to teach them math 2 days a week. It will count, I promise you. Volunteer in an organization or an NGO that works with the elderly. It will matter in the grand scheme of things after you leave school, I promise you. And I also want to add in this point, because I work in social impact, I want to add as well that as much as you're trying to build your career, you also want to ensure that you're doing it for the right reasons. Okay, keep your heart in the right place. Do it diligently, because when you're in the social impact space, you're dealing with people. So do it diligently, but do it anyway. Number 4 is international exchanges. Many people do not even know that such opportunities exist, but they exist. You're going to have to do the extra work to find them out. I know that the US has a number of exchanges every year for high school students, for teachers, and I think for undergraduates as well. But you have to do the work of finding them out. I've shared on how to, and I'll continue to share on how to access opportunities. Listen to me, read my books, watch my videos, and learn. I'm giving all of these things for free, except the books, which are actually almost free because they are very discounted. Okay, so you want to seek out exchange opportunities. What this does is, for 6 weeks, 1 month, 2 months, 3 months, you could be sent to another country. That already sets you apart. By the time you put that on your CV, that already makes you stand out from everyone else in the same pool, vying for the same position that you are. Okay, so seek out international exchanges. Apart from that, it also gives you opportunity to travel. It expands your mind, gives you exposure while you're still a student. Seek out international exchanges. It matters in the grand scheme of things. And my last point for you is graduate traineeships. This is so important. You want to start doing this if you're in your 3rd year or 4th year. You want to start noticing the patterns. When do the call for applications come out? How can you position yourself what are the requirements, what are the GP requirements. You want to start thinking, even if you're in your first year, you want to start thinking, oh, do I want to work with one of the big threes or big four firms in my country? How do I position myself? Or I would need this grade to be accepted into a traineeship. And one trick is that these traineeships are oftentimes a way to get jobs. So while others are busy looking for jobs and submitting CVs everywhere, because you are already in the system, it might be easier for you to even get a job. Several banks do traineeships, several firms do traineeships, several organizations do traineeships. Do the work of seeking them out and start to plan on how you're going to get in. So by the time you're done, you're not like everybody else asking after school what next, after NYSC what next. You already know, you're already setting the pace, you're already engineering your life and how it's going to go from now onwards. Okay, I hope you got value from this. I really just wanted to share with you some of my strategies to beating that game. So when people ask you for 1 or 2 years of experience, and you won't be like other students saying, I'm still in school, or I just graduated, where do you want me to get 1 or 2 years of experience from? You already have it, right? Why? Because you listened to a Johnson. Okay, I hope you got value from this. If you did, please share this video with someone. Please give me a thumbs up. Please subscribe so we can continue to grow together. This is what I want to do this year. I want to commit my year to giving you value in topics of faith, in topics of career, and in topics of life in general. Thank you for watching, and I will see you in my next video. Bye bye.